Hello, this is a short video to show you how to continue in week 3 with your application activity on study skills. Last week, we began by completing and submitting a planning form. Hopefully at this point you have got some feedback from your instructor regarding your planning form and you're ready to move ahead. So let's go into week 3 in the course. In the table of contents right here, we have week 3. And there are several things to do this week, as there are most week. And I think we're going to focus right here on your application activity number 1, the study skills recording forms. Last week, you selected some study skills strategies to work on. And this week, you're going to take that a little further by preparing the forms. So let's click here for instructions for preparing the forms. And that's going to open up a document. And as always with these kind of documents, I think it's best that you download the document and open it from your own computer so that you can make changes to the document. You always need to enable editing to do that. I suggest that you go in and give the document a new name so that it's clear that it is your version of the study logs. So I usually just use my first initial, last name, and then I can click save, and then I've got to decide where do I want to save it to. We're going to put this one on the desktop just for simplicity's sake, and there we go. Now I'm ready to kind of read through this planning form and look at what needs to be done in the planning form. So a fair amount of information here. I don't want to read it all, but the first thing it's going to tell you in terms of the steps of what you need to do is locate the study skills, a toolbox for active learners section in the ebook. So let's look at how to do that. Let's go back to our page that we have open here, where we were looking at the assignment, and let's go back up here to textbook access. There's a lot of ways to get into the textbook, but textbook access is probably the easiest. We'll go in here, click on here to access the textbook, and that should open up the MindTap page. And then we're going to need to actually open up the ebook itself. A couple of ways we can do that. You can always go full ebook over here. If you have the ebook app on your phone at this point, you can do this from your phone, although it's going to be easier for some of our steps here to open the ebooks on a regular computer. Here's the study skills, a toolbox for active learners. That's the part that we needed to look at. I'm going in this way, and there's a click to that part of the ebook right here, or a link. Okay. So here we go. So here is the table of contents for the toolbox section. Let's go back and just read real quickly. What is it that we're expected to do here? You have to reference your planning form in order to do this correctly. You have chosen 6 strategies on your planning form. And so those strategies could be anything from taking notes to reading, etc. We give an example of a strategy right here. Strategy number 11 from the taking notes area, ask and answer questions. And so if that was one of your strategies, here's what you would be expected to do with your form. We want you on your form to actually cut and paste the directions for that particular strategy. And so it's going to look like this when you're done. Here's 11, ask and answer questions. And here's the directions for what you're expected to do with that strategy. Okay. We looked a little bit at this in the video last week, just how to read the directions for a particular strategy. So let's go find that one in the toolbox section, and so here's taking notes. It's going to be under this section C, which is consistent across all of the study skills areas. And then if you click on that, you're going to see you get a whole bunch of strategies for taking notes. And here's the one that we just talked about. So strategy number 11, ask and answer questions. I'm just going to select that text. I'm going to select it, hopefully, and copy it. And we're going to do a Control-C to copy. I think we could also do a copy this way, okay? And then back into our document right here. If this is the first study skills recording form that you are working on, then it was not reading, as the box checked here, it was taking notes. And we can copy and paste the instructions from the toolbox right here. If I want, I can play around with that text a little to make it a little more, you know, and do what I want. Whatever's readable for you is fine. We just want you to have that strategy and instructions right at the top of your page, so that when you're thinking, okay, what is it that I'm supposed to be doing here? It's very clear, okay? Strategy was ask and answer questions. The study skill area was taking notes. And then here's the instructions for how to use that particular strategy. Whichever strategies you chose on your planning form, they'll all work essentially this way. We want to go back to the toolbox. If you were looking for a rehearsing and memorizing study material strategy, then you would look there. Maybe you like the idea of forming a study team and that ended up on your planning form. Whatever your particular choices were. One thing about this that can be a little tricky is if you chose a note-taking system that comes with a sample of the note-taking. For instance, here, taking notes with an outline is a popular way to take notes. You don't need to have these examples of the structure of an outline. We just want you to go, okay, that's my study strategy. I'm going to just copy it right here. Now, those examples may be really useful for you to look at. Okay, so it looks like there's a little more text about how to write outlines right there. But again, I think it would be enough for you to have this first paragraph as your instructions for how to use that particular strategy. Okay, if you have questions about this, of course, you know, you want to make sure that you talk with your instructor. You're going to have 6 study skill recording forms, 1 for each strategy. So here's your second one. You'll be copy and pasting into there. We'll just do a quick copy and paste there because I think so there's, you know, again, that's the same one. We wouldn't want to do the same one again, but you get the idea. And then this recording form. Don't worry that pages are going to get thrown off a little. That's going to happen as you copy and paste into these forms. You can reconcile that later when you are when you have some time to kind of redo the formatting on them, take out some of these spaces. I would do all the cutting and pasting first because it's going to throw off the tables on each page, and you can just correct that later. Once you're done, we're going to save. We can close this document because we've already got it saved to the desktop, and then we go back into our page for the course, go back to the table of contents. This assignment is in week 3, so hopefully you won't be seeing all the things I'm seeing in this because this is the instructor view of the course, but you'll see this page, and then when you've got all of your application activity study skills recording forms ready, click on the assignment submission and attach your document right here and submit it for your instructor. And that concludes what you need to do with this week. Next week, we'll expect you to begin completing the study skills recording forms, and we'll have more information on how that works and what you're expected to put on those forms in week 4 of the course.